Alright guys, today we're going to be talking about the LG G8X because I'm getting a lot of questions about this phone. Man, look at these scratches. Alright, so I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. Alright, so yeah, so I've been getting questions. Should I, can I keep using my LG G8X? Can I give it away? Should I buy it? Yes, you should buy this phone and you should keep using this phone if that is your desire to, because this is on LG's list to get the update to 12 and 13. I believe 11 has been pushed out to some users, but I have a Sprint version. I made the mistake when I bought it on, I think I got it on eBay. I wasn't paying attention. So I got the Sprint version, so I have no clue. I'm still getting security patches. Like I think I just got a security patch update today. But as far as like the actual update, I have no clue when I'm gonna get mine. Yeah, I have one today, just have to download it. But yeah, so the LG G8X is still a really solid device, and if you look at the prices right now on Amazon, the prices are still pretty solid on here, especially for what you're gonna get if you get the dual screen case or not. Now me, I'm not a heavy multitasker, so I didn't really need the dual screen case. I'm not a huge fan of it because it just makes it a little bit bigger, and I just don't use it. So I never use the dual screen feature, so I never thought to use it. But as you can see, if you buy the renewed version, it's $218, and if you get the dual screen case, it's $137 if you want to do it like that. But they have a bundle right now for $439. I think that's the cheapest you can get the phone and the case. But if you want the phone brand new by itself, it's $370, which I'm a big fan of refurbished phones, so I usually just take the cheaper route because I've had zero issues with just refurbished products. But the LG G8X is still a solid buy because you have that dual screen capability at such a cheap price. And so let's go over the body of the G8. So it's a glass and metal design. We have a power button right here, completely flat camera module as well. We also have a stereo speakers on here, USB Type-C. The headphone jack is still on board, 3.5 millimeters. And then we have our Google Assistant button right here along with our volume rocker. On the G8X, we have an OLED HDR10 display at 6.4 inches. It is 1080p 403 for the PPI, and it's a really nice display. It's very colorful as well, so I had no issues with the display. Now, if you want a more high-res resolution display, then you would go for something like the LG G8. So those two phones, they don't have a massive difference, but the G8 has a 1440p display, and you will notice the difference. I have a whole comparison because I get asked about that a lot, but the display on here is super vibrant. It gets very bright. You do have a little notch up top here, water drop notch, a little bit of bezel, but overall I've had nothing but good things to say about the G8's display. I think it just looks super solid in terms of just color, watching videos and stuff like that. I really do enjoy the display on here. Now this phone also has micro SD support. You have 128 gigs of internal storage and 6 gigs of RAM. This phone is also IP68 dust and water resistant, so you can drop it in toilet, you can drop it in some water, and it won't break immediately, which is really nice. So you have a lot of little flagship features on this phone. Wireless charging is on board as well as NFC. And let's go ahead and check out those stereo speakers as well. Now this one is running Android 10, and like I said, if you got like pretty much any other version except the Sprint version, you would get the update in a timely manner. Highly recommend just buying an unlocked version, and if you can, unlocked or AT&T I think are the best. Yeah, so as far as software, the UI is fine on here. This phone has been relatively snappy since I've got it, so I've never had like an issue with frame drops. Be sure to follow me on Instagram because I am going to start giving away some of my LG phones as well. And I know I don't post on here, but I'm going to start posting on here on the stories at least. So be sure to follow me for that. And I'm going to be doing that through Instagram to try to promote that. But yeah, so I think I'm going to give the V35 away, then this phone, and then another one. And just sort of over time, just keep giving them away. Yeah, so we're talking about the software. So software on here is excellent. Now, you have the Snapdragon 855 on here, and you have the Adreno 640. Now, this is where this phone becomes pretty powerful because it really just does not miss a beat when it comes to gaming. You can play games at high settings as well, which is pretty nice. That's something that I really like. So if you're a gamer and you really want to game and do really hard multitasking while gaming on your phone, this is a phone definitely for that, because you have that dual screen case capability on here, and this just is gonna run through game just fine. I never had any heating problems with this phone, so it stays relatively cool as well. But yeah, it plays Call of Duty, PUBG, Fortnite fine. So yeah, this is definitely a great gaming device, especially at this price point. Even if you just play it just with the phone itself without the dual screen case, it's still a great experience. Very fast phone. Let's go ahead and max that volume out. So the speakers have a lot of bass quality to them. You have pretty good mids and highs, and you get super thumpy when it's just laying flat on the table as well. And just the overall, sound quality is really good.
I was making so much money with DoorDash. I wanted to earn money in my free time, but I didn't want to go out and get a boring
best budget gaming devices. We're gonna keep it in the $200 to $300 price. Yeah, you don't get any sort of like audio distortion or anything at max volume, so the speakers sound great. Big fan of the speaker quality on here. Now there's no type of face unlock on here as well, which is something that I noticed. Again, so you're bound to the but the in-display fingerprint sensor, and that works fine. I've never had an issue with it, but I always like to have that option for face unlock, because you never know, you might have something on your hands or just whatever the case, gloves. So you might want to have that face unlock. So they took it away on this phone, but as you can see, it does not miss a beat when it comes to the face unlock. Is it the fastest I've ever used? No, but it does work 100% of the time. So there's no issue with that. All right, so let's talk about the cameras on the G8X, because you're actually getting some really good cameras on here. So you have a 12 megapixel standard, and then you have a 13 megapixel ultra wide 4K video, and then a 32 megapixel selfie that also shoots in 4K. So if you go ahead and look at the photos on this phone, you're getting some pretty good photos, I think, especially for this price point. I was really happy with dynamic range. I was happy with the very natural colors on this phone as well. I think this phone has a good amount of detail on here too. Handles low light situations okay, and video is pretty solid. I'll show you guys that. The selfie camera is also pretty good on here. So as far as image quality, especially if you're in like good lighting, you'll get some really good shots out of the G8X for sure. I'll go ahead and show you guys the video. Here's the outdoor video quality on the G8X. Looks pretty good. Very, very good color accuracy. Pretty much spot on, to be honest. I can switch out to the ultra wide. Looks pretty good. Now this phone comes packed with a 4000 milliamp battery with 21 watt fast charging, and like I said, you do have wireless charging on here, and battery life has been pretty good on this phone. It's definitely an all-day phone. Now with that dual screen case, you probably will not get like the same amount of battery life as it's being, with a single screen, because you're going to be powering two screens, so you're just not going to get that all-day experience like you are just having it as a single device. But as far as battery life, it's been pretty good experience for me, and I think you should get somewhere around 7 to 8 hours of screen on time, which is definitely a full day's use. And again, that is dependent on how hard you are on your phone. But yeah, if you're thinking about buying the G8X, I mean, it checks off all of the boxes on the list. So you have good cameras, pretty good hardware. It's a power user phone for pretty cheap. And also you get the headphone jack, so excellent audio quality on this phone. The screen is pretty good on here, very nice, vibrant colors. So I think for 200 bucks, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It does everything that you would want it to do and more. It has all of the bells and whistles, wireless charging, NFC, everything. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. It's a definite buy. So if I were y'all, I would just, if you're really thinking about it, buy it, and then after 2 years, you just move on to another brand, sell it, or do whatever. So I still think it's a pretty solid buy. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.